All right, we're out here with Patric, and what'd you do this weekend?
This weekend we got top 8 at the Salem, Oregon Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional. I was piloting Yummy Orchest. Before I get into the deck list, I'm going to give a couple shout outs real quick. First off, we'll go shout out to Anchor, shout out to Riley, all my boys at Shane's. We got Anthony, Billy, Cash, Gerjot, Leo, the GOAT, Kevin, Ollie, and our boy Slumpy TCG Danny, who's not here right now. Without any of them, none of this is possible. They gave me quality reps the entire time, made me better at Yu-Gi-Oh!, got me back into the game. And shout out to Shane's Cards down in Renton. Tom's always taking care of us. He does a good job making sure we got the cards we need. With further ado, let's get back into the deck list.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
So we're going to start out with 3 Girsu. I don't care what anyone says right now, this is the best normal summon in Yu-Gi-Oh! This dumps any Orcus card you want. This dumps all your Dark Machines. This is full combo for both lines if you make a token. I'll show you that combo later on. This card is a starter for both engines. This will get you, if it resolves, full Yummy combo and full Orcus combo. This is insane. Next up, 3 Harpour. It's a normal summon. It's a discard. If you open it with your Yummy names, you just discard it off your Cupsy and that's Orcus combo on top of everything else. It's a normal summon because you can make the Link 1 with it, and then you summon all your Yummies off that and do your Yummy combo off that. Basically, I was going for it. If I can normal summon a card and get a Link 1 that is strong, I'm playing it. So, 1 Nightmare, discard Farter for the Cupsy and then it's just another machine that you can get banished. Sometimes the attack modulation will matter, but realistically, it's just another name you can run, and for Enlil Girsu, having the extra banished machine is just really important sometimes. I'm running 3 Symbol Skeleton. This isn't really traditional in non-Purelists, but the way that I was doing it is, if I normal summon this and I get a Link 1 out of it and it's another Orcus name, I'm happy to see it. This plus any Yummy card, like I said, is full combo. And it also just insulates a lot of your plays by giving you a lot of follow-up. Not having to really worry about your resources sometimes is super nice, so opening multiples is never a problem. Sometimes I would literally just open Girsu plus a couple Orcus names. I'm just playing a heavy Orcus package at that point. I get to set up extra stuff on my end board. Other times, if you open any one of these plus a Yummy name, you're just going off like crazy and your opponent's not stopping you. We're going heavy on the World Legacy package. I play 1 Chalice, 1 Crown, and 1 Wand. Wand and Crown are materials that people just are not taking nearly as much advantage of right now. You can summon Crown on your opponent's turn by using World Wand's effect. By pitching it to the grave to search it with Galatea Eye. World Wand will trigger Engrave and special back your Crown. It's just an extra interruption that your opponent has to play through. And sometimes it'll just break their back. That's the last thing you need to hit. Or against a Sky Striker board, they have to start dealing with this before they deal with anything else. I run the Chalice because in my extra deck, I'm running Ib. Ib is the bridge between the 2 engines. This will get special summoned out and make you your Galatea Eye. I'll show you later in the combo how to do that.
So between these 4 cards that you probably don't want to see in your hand, how often were you bricking?
So the nice part about this build actually is if you open any of these through your combo, you're either discarding them or summoning them. World Wand is going to summon any of these if they're in your hands. They're not true Garnets. You can still get them on the board. Nightmare felt okay. If I was going to cut anything out of this package right here, it'd be the Nightmare. Just in favor of more consistency. But at the same time, like it's just another resource you get to be able to play around what your opponent's doing. I was actually normaling Girsu and sending Nightmare to give myself more options because Girsu is your Fua check. So you activate the effect to summon tokens and your opponent has to Fua you right there. You know what you're playing into at that point. Unless it's Nib or anything like that. And then Nightmare gave me the flexibility, if they were going to double Fua me, to activate Nightmare, pitch World Wand summon back Nightmare, make the Galatea there, and then put Crescendo on board. So at the very least, you could get a half board or less, and know exactly what you're giving your opponent off of 1 draw, which is not something Orcus is usually doing right now. Next up in the list, I'm running Triple Cupsy. This card's busted. It's a 1-card starter for the engine. If you opened any Orcus card, you just discard it on the Synchro 2. If you could run 4, you'd run 4. This card's just crazy. Marshmallow. This is a starter in the deck, so you can activate Marshmallow and start committing to Yummy plays before you do anything else. Your opponent will start interacting with this line, and then you can go straight up normal summon Girsu if you want to. You can normal any of the Orcus monsters, and then you just watch their brain explode because they just don't know what to do. It's way too much value for nothing. You commit nothing to it. I'm running the 1 Cookie and the 1 Lollipo. Standard stuff. You don't really want to see them any more than that. I wouldn't change anything about these ratios. I mean, they're pretty standard. That's it for the monsters. Let's get into the hand traps. We're going 3 Fulos, 2 Droll, 3 Ash. We're running 3 Droplet, 3 Imperm. These are basically just your forms of interruption that you're going to be running. Droll put in heavy work for me during the tournament. I played into a Mitsu player that basically just had to concede on the spot. Fulos is self-explanatory. Imperm was putting in a lot of work just preventing my opponents from actually hitting certain things. Hitting an Arthalion sometimes will just be the difference maker. Being able to interrupt your opponent through the middle of their combo I thought was really important. And I was trying Bells instead of this, and I felt that Imperm was more impactful from playtesting. I mean, I think Droplet is just the best going second card that you're main decking right now. It's a breaker, it's interruption if you open it going first. You can dodge Dracotel effects, you can dodge Radiant Typhoon cards. If you're not on Droplet in the main right now, you should be.
Plus sending all the bricks too.
Yeah, sending all the bricks. I mean, activating Droplet, sending Harp Horror or one of your bricks out of your hand to start your turn. It puts your opponent in a really bad situation. They're using resources they shouldn't have to use, or it just turns things off to start your turn, and they can't even interact with it half the time. Outside of that, other 2 generic cards we're running is just 1 Called By and 1 Foolish Burial. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I'd say anything about those. We're going 1 Babel, 1 Crescendo. We're going 1 Mignon, 1 Surprise, and this is my secret goo. I put an Assist Yummy in the main. This came up almost every single match. This card is slept on heavily, especially in an Orcust engine where I don't want to see the other field spell. You're using Marshmallow to get this constantly, especially if you're going first and your opponent tries to hand trap you. You cup C back to the extra deck and summon back your Marshmallow. If you weren't getting to surprise anyway, being able to set this up with a Snatchy plus Marshmallow is just busted. Your Snatchy will put your field spell there, so you can assist Yummy, distribute itself in the field spell to grave its cost. Non-targeting bounce from the field or grave. You're adding your hand traps back to your hand. You're bouncing your opponent's stuff. It's interruption and recovery at the same time. This card wins you the mirror half the time because you can just bounce your opponent's stuff. You're forcing out their Snatchy or their Synchro Summon. I cannot say enough how much Assist Yummy just push through games sometimes, especially as I'm setting up my board with the Orcust cards, and then just when your opponent thinks they're about to break the last thing, you put an Assist Yummy on the field, and that's just it. They just can't play through all of that.
Yeah.
We'll get in the extra deck here in a second.
This thing's a quick effect. Send 1, banish.
Non-target face up.
Extra deck, we're going Galatea Eye. Best card in the extra deck in my opinion. I think Link 1s are broken, and they gave Orcust 1, so why not run it? Galatea Link 2. 1 Ding Girsu and 1 Enlo Girsu. I'm not running Lung Girsu. I think Lung Girsu is only really good in pure lists. It's kind of situational at best, and in order to summon it back on your opponent's turn, you have to Dark Clock yourself. Half the time you don't want to do that, at least not until way further down in the end of the turn when you're just using your effects that you have to get advantage. Plus, this extra deck is really tight, so there's not really space for it. Never did it come up where I wished I had Lung Girsu in the extra deck though, so I would say it's just not worth running in this build.
Do you feel like you missed the second Galatea?
No.
Too?
No. If you're playing your resources right, you shouldn't miss the second Galatea. I'd say the only thing that would hurt is like if it's evenly matched or your opponent trying to get rid of it in a way where you can't recur it. At the same time, I think I only locked myself out of my Orcust engine 1 game, and it didn't really even matter because I just swung for game with the Yummies. So it's not like if you lose it, it's the end of the world. It just means you have to lean heavy into the other engine. But because they both recur so much resources, I mean, playing against one of the full engines is already hard enough. Playing against both full engines is just almost impossible for certain decks. Running 1 Snatchy, 1 Cupsy, 1 Lollipo, and 1 Cookie. Standard list. Don't run any more, don't run any less. I think they're all pretty much required. We're going 1 Sorrow Cat. This was actually a last minute change. I was running Starham before this. because with less resources for a discard, you can get full combo on the other end way more consistently. At the same time, I found I was discarding hand traps constantly, which just wasn't worth it half the time. I tried this out. There were some times where I missed Starham, but at the same time, I feel like this is just more consistent. If you're going in a line where you're doing this, you're already in a good spot. And if you don't have the resources to, you probably shouldn't be doing the other line anyway. So I think Sarkat's fine. I'd only change it out for a Starham. We're going with an Ib here, actually. So in the course of your combo, you reach a point where you have enough materials to make a Synchro 5 and still have a yummy Synchro on the field. I'm making Ib. It's going to add either Crown or World Wand to your hand. So later on, you can either discard it with your Galatea as cost, send it to the graveyard, or it's for your opponent's turn. I hold on to that World Wand sometimes, depending on what I've done in order. Discard it with Galatea on your opponent's turn, search the crown, special the crown. It's just free adds, and it's also a bridge into the Orcust engine. When it's sent to the graveyard, it's going to special summon the Chalice I have in here earlier. Galatea doesn't require just Orcust monsters, it's any World Legacy monster too. So I'm using Chalice to make this. Or you can just leave it on the board as an extra piece of interruption, because they do things on the board. We're going Zalin. You are synchroing any of your 2s off plus Ib into this. There is a certain point in your combo when Zalin is made and your opponent can no longer Nibiru you. You have Surprise in hand and it can bounce a field spell, which is what you would hold to prevent Nib. The second you get back into your Orcust engine, if you make Enlil Girsu, it's a quick effect under Babel. So what you do is you don't add back from the Banish pile to the hand until the end phase. So that if your opponent tries to nib you at end of main, you chain Enlil Girsu, add back a banished machine or a banished Orcust monster, and then chain Zalin to negate Nibiru. It feels super nice. Your opponents will miss that and think they can just hit you randomly. They can't. This card was really clutch, especially not being a like once on the field kind of effect. It's once per turn. It's just broken.
How often how often are you able to make this?
If you're doing the combo right, every single time. If your opponent doesn't hit you in the right spots, you are making Zalin, Enlil, plus another monster or two, depending on your hand. The 1-card combo makes this plus Orcust uninterrupted. As long as you're managing your resources right, you're not locking yourself, this is always on your board. 1 Link Rebo comes up a lot. I don't run any other Link ones. I think that Almirage just isn't consistent enough. It feels weird. There's not enough space. Link Rebo does everything that it does, except some of your hand traps aren't starters, but at that point, if you're breaking that hard, I don't think you were playing anyway. 1 IP. I would probably cut her, actually, if I cut anything. I didn't really feel myself going into this too much. It's for half boards with Yummy or half boards with Orcust at this point. But if you're in Fua, I'm not really thinking about making that. I don't think it actually feels that great in this deck. More testing could probably tell me otherwise, but it just didn't feel as impactful. Running 1 SP, which can also be protection if you don't have other cards from Nibiru, SP Chain, just protecting stuff. And Summon Sorceress is actually a 15th card. This card you can make with Lollipo plus the 2 monsters it summons off. You're making Ib at some point, so you're going to add the World Wand to your hand. You're going to summon Sork. She's going to summon World Wand to your opponent's board, and she's going to summon Harp from your deck to the field, which is crazy. You link your Harp into the Galatea Eye, and then you just go off. Enlil Girsu is this plus your Galatea Eye, and then you get your Harp to resolve in the grave. You can steal back your World Wand, put it in the grave, and summon something back with it too. On paper, it's great. It only came up a few times. When it did come up, it won me the game. So I'd say I've been kind of playtesting with Boral Sword instead of this, just so that you have more Liger outs. Liger was one of the cards that I struggled with the most, but at the end of the day, it's your call on consistency versus being able to out a Towers. And then we'll go to the side real quick. I was doing 3 Mistaken Arrests. This card blows out opponents constantly. They don't see it coming half the time. Sometimes just resolving that to your opponent, they'll just scoop on the spot because they just can't play through it. If Mitsu didn't open the right cards half the time, it's just over. Double Cyclone came up a couple times. Wasn't the most impactful card, but when it did come up, I felt like I was in a better spot because of it. I didn't play Radiant Typhoon more than once, so it would have felt differently if I had to play it more. But
how many times did you play against Dracotail?
Dragotail, I played against it twice. 1-1, 2-0, lost one to the guy who got second place.
Did you put those in that matchup or no?
I put them in, but I don't think I saw them.
Okay.
I had them on the ropes, but on game 3, I just ended up bricking. I had mistaken arrest droll and like a symbol skeleton that just wasn't playing. At the end of the day, though, I think it is a solid card. If you're just running on what's being topping right now, I think you've got to run it. 3 nib. This did absolutely nothing for me. If I were to cut anything from the side, I don't feel like Nibiru was very powerful. I felt like I would rather have cards that interact with my opponent in the moment than waiting for them to have 5 summons for nib. I was putting it in mostly just to check like Ryziel, random rogue decks. It never came up. I mean, at a certain point, side for what's winning, and I don't feel like siding for rogue at this point is going to be worth it. 3 Prulia. If you play against Yummy, they cry, you get 3 draws. A lot of decks will just give you a 1-for-1 draw off of it, especially if they scoop before they reveal what they're playing. I'll just put that in. It's going to give me another draw. I'll see more cards in my deck. 3 evenly matched. This card was crazy. Every single time I resolved evenly matched, it won me the game. I think it only didn't resolve once. Evenly plus droplet and evenly plus double cyclone should be illegal. It just wipes a lot of boards that are not prepared to deal with it. Not a lot of people are making Omni Negates right now, which is the nice part about this board. It's just a blowout card. A lot of decks aren't recovering resources the way that they should be in order to play out long games. So I can't speak highly enough about how many times evenly matched just won me a game. Let's get into a combo real quick.
Let's see it.
Does he play with Flea?
No. He just because he adds cross and like star, depending on the hand cast the cross. Then he draws, then he uses star to catch him and set it.
So while I'm picking up, the other thing that people don't really realize is when you activate the field spell off of Snatchy, it's Snatchy's effect that locks you into link 2 or lower, is not the field spell. If you open the field spell or cupsy it to your hand because you have one of the other ones, there were multiple times during the tournament my opponents were asking me how I was able to summon Enlo Girsu at the end of my turn. It's not as detrimental as you think. Sometimes if you're really down bad for resources, you can just activate the field spell if you need to play through multiple hand traps. Otherwise, I was actually summoning Snatchy and telling my opponent no effect. And they would look confused at you and assume you had it in hand. You just don't need it. I don't think it's required as long as your opponent obviously won't know what you're playing. So we're gonna go, this is gonna be a Girsu line with any other card. So we are going to go normal summon Girsu, effect, we are going to pitch Nightmare to check Fulos. You can send anything, but I was doing Nightmare and it was really nice. Effect, makes a token for you and your opponent. Your opponent has to Fulos you right here. If they do not, they are not Fulosing you for the rest of the turn. You are then going to use Girsu as the Link 1 material for Galatea. I don't know if you know this, a Link 1 plus a level 1 is full Yummy combo. So you can choose to discard here if you want to. If you have Harpor or you have other Orcus names or your World Legacy cards, discarding here and adding Babel is not a bad idea. I would just activate the Babel right away. It gives you more quick effects so you have more options. There's no downside to doing it. It's not like you're going to go back and want your field spell later from the Yummy engine. And worst comes to worst, if you send Babel to the grave, you can banish it with Galatea and get it back in the end phase anyway. So realistically, dumping here is perfectly fine. You can wait till after you do your ebb play. Here you would go into a synchro. We're going Cupsy. Cupsy effect adds. I was adding Marshmallow and Cupsy, and then either discarding a third card. Or I would just discard the Marshmallow, special back the Yummy effect, search your surprise, and then you can surprise back the Marshmallow and get the surprise back, just so you can play. We're going to assume this is in an ideal position where we have another card to discard, so we're just going to discard anything. You would go special, effect to search, special, Link 1, and your Snatchy, Link 2. Into Lollipop. We'll go Lollipop effect. Bring back these two. You always want to use the Marshmallow if you haven't resolved it. Just put it back in the grave.
I'll give you. Or 2.
We'll go Sour Cap. This is a situation where we haven't used this. We're going to surprise back the Marshmallow. This is a minimal combo off 1 card. Marshmallow out of back. We're going Synchro 5 effect. I add World Wand. You do not want to add Chalice. Chalice needs to be in the deck or graveyard. If it's in your hand, it's your discard. You need to get this card out of your hand. World Wand hand. From here, you go Salem. Effect Engrave. If she leaves the field at all, she gets the trigger. She'll special your Chalice. Here, we'll go 1. Oh, Galatea's already engraved, so actually what we'll do is we will, from here, Galatea effect. If you have an Orcus spell or trap in your hand, it's actually a good discard because Galatea can banish it to bring herself back, and then you add it back to your hand with Enlo Girsu. Enlo Girsu doesn't care if it's a monster, it's Orcus names, which is just busted. From here,
That's it, right? Yeah.
link to,
discard
your World Wand, add that to your hand.
Now you have to.
Link to.
What
you send off your Girsu.
Something brazen as well. Yeah.
Nightmare effect target.
Chain.
Pitch. Harp effect.
Chain.
Skelly. Look at that, you got a World Wand in the grave ready for you. Special. Effect. Always pick Nightmare. Always pick Nightmare. World Wand, you can loop and get crowns against your opponent. Everything else you'd rather see in your graveyard. Nightmare, you can just put it straight back in the deck. Effect. Set this. And would you look at that, you got enough materials to make Enlo Girsu. We'll go Skelly effect, special back. Here is actually the biggest thing I would say that I learned from this event is making Ding Girsu and attaching back a second material on it is incredibly important right now. There's a bunch of destruction running around, people running MST packages, Fall into the Virtuous, Harpies, Lightning Storm. Ding Girsu checks all of that. They have to open a way to negate Ding Girsu plus their breakers if they're running them. A lot of the times you can protect it with Crescendo or Zalin, and your opponent just won't be able to break your board. Like the amount of times my opponent has tried to blow up my board, I detach with Ding, protect it all, and then they try to use a second one, like a Lightning Storm into Fall into the Virtuous, and then you do a second Ding Girsu effect because it's not once per turn. That comes up constantly. This, being able to protect all of your cards, is insane. People should be making this in every build of Orcus. I will die on that hill. I think Ding Girsu gives you so much value right now. Way more than an IP into an SP combo does. On your opponent's turn, you'll be able to surprise back one of your Synchro 2s and then play with the Yummy Engine. Super nice part is that you can chain this to anything your opponent does, chain Zalin Negate, or chain any of your Yummy cards to it and then get them Zalin Negate. This interaction is busted. You can Sorrow Cat back any Synchro, so you can put the Ib back, you can put one of your Yummies back in the extra X, summon it back, get an extra body, play through more Interruption. And then right here what we're looking at generally is going to be whatever Cup C interactions you have or Yummy interactions you have. A Zalin Negate, Ding with 2 material protection, Enlo Girsu Steel, Crescendo, and then during your opponent's turn, if you added World Wand to your hand in the end phase, you are going to summon back your Galatea Eye, discard this, search Crown, World Wand trigger, special Crown. There are very few decks that can play through this right now. Going first, I don't think I lost a single game. If I did, I only dropped 1 or 2 to Fua, getting double Fua'd. But even then, very few decks, especially without siding, are cracking this board. Your opponent's going to look at it and scoop. Most of my matches were done with 20 plus minutes left on the clock, because either I would go first and I'd break them, or it would just get to a point where your game wins are fast. We'll put it that way. On the opponent's turn, if they do anything, you can also Cup C back, special back the Marshmallow, set the assist from your deck. If you hard open it, you just discard it or set it, and then you banish it to activate its effect to pitch a Yummy. Having the extra Yummy name engrave is nice, but then also having the non-targeting bounce is just crazy. I mean, you're making so much interruption, your opponent's not playing good.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy.